Check out the rabbit again. Just enjoying himself here in my garden. His little white tail. Do you see that? Little white cotton tail. You'd think that he would move because I'm here, but nope. He's enjoying his food. The kitchen garden area, as you can see there, this was my herbal, it is still, my herbal kitchen garden area has just become overgrown with so much. The plants are so huge, and yes, it requires that I go in and do some weeding, cutting back, removing, and giving the vegetables and things that are growing in there a chance to breathe. It's amazing how quickly things have grown and expanded. It can be a little bit overwhelming, but I am looking forward to reaping some harvest here. Right now you can see that the corn is growing up, and I believe that they are maturing quickly. There's two different levels of corn. There's this part, the tallest piece, and then there is a row here. That's the next level. And then under all of those vines, there's another level of corn that I need to give some space to. And there are some pumpkins that are growing in this section here. And as you can see, there are a lot of yellow or pumpkin flowers. Actually, it's pumpkin, it's patty pan squash, and a lot of combinations of different winter squash. Because at this point, I don't know what is what. It's all going to be solved in the fall when you start to gather the different squash. But I know that there's pumpkin and there are patty pans here as well, and butternut squash too. So the goal is to get inside here in this area, to take out what is not useful, give some air and space to the collard greens and the tomatoes, pull out the snap peas, check out the cucumbers and so forth. That's the goal for this week. But in the meantime, the rest of the garden is looking really good. Good morning, and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow together. Well, this is the last Saturday in July, and this is what the garden looks like in the back here. Things are just growing because it has been raining a lot. This has become a very wet and beautiful season this year. I cannot complain for a lack of water. Haven't had to put on the sprinkler system or the pipe for pretty much the month of July here, because we've been getting steady rains and everything is just growing out really well from all of this moisture. I am excited about the garden, and I've made some changes. Here you can see I moved my canna from the front and I put it right here in this spot because the geraniums weren't doing too well. But I think that this is a good choice here, this canna. And it's going to get plenty of sun, plenty of space, and I'm hoping that it will start to flower real soon. At this side of the garden, you can see that the cannas are doing well here. They're blooming, and this one is about to bloom too. I'm really pleased with how this canna has decided to grow so beautifully here in the garden, and it looks like it's about to develop a flower spike there. I had it first up in the front garden, and that was a good thing because it was able to get enough sun, moisture, and then I decided that it needed more space. So now it has this spot of prominence here in the garden. And this one here looks like, this shoot looks like it's about to flower as well. So I think that is really a good thing. I'm excited to see it. Now, I bought this canna from Costco last year or the year before, and I saved I think it was last year, and I saved the rhizomes, and it has come back really luscious. I love it, and I'm so glad that I have it. I know that the flower is important, but just the leaves alone is just adding to this garden. The leaves alone are just beautiful. Definitely a featured plant for the last Saturday in July. Well, here is a close-up view of this canna, and I believe it's called Magic Pink. Magic Pink. And it is looking very magical here in this bed. It is getting enough sun and moisture, and it has decided to bloom. I am so excited about this because I do love the flower. And because this whole area is so filled with greenery, aside from the beautiful impatiens, which showed up really well this year, it's good because it provides height to this area and also color. Now that the lilies are finished, which were really great during this season. This year was definitely a lily season for me. The Cannas is now taking over. And I saved these tubers as well, these rhizomes as well, from a couple of years back too. I think this is actually 3 years now that I've had them. And so it is worth it to save them, to lift them and save them. And because it's in the pot, it's easier to preserve the rhizome. I hope I'm calling it right, rhizome, but you know what I mean. So here's the other one, and this one is about to flower. I'm excited about that. Look at that. And it's doing very well here. So this is the kitchen garden area from this vantage point, and I am so pleased with the lilies that showed up for this month. This is the stargazer lily, and this year they really look great. And it added such great aroma to the garden on this side. Now there's something I want to show you here. Look at this. My plum. The plum tree has grown really well here and is quite established. However, it suffered from aphids, and it flowered really well in the spring, and it's growing, but there's some kind of insect that is just continuing to nibble on the fresh growth, and then also to rob me of my beautiful plums. Now there's one here that I showed you, and then there's another one. So there's another one. I don't see it right now, but I'm just hoping that they will hang on and allow me. I think it's right up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it will allow me to experience the plums. I am happy to report that my fig tree has returned again this year. It suffered a really hard setback last year, the year before that, and it returned. And then this year, it's starting to give some more shoots here. So I believe over time it will get back to its majestic state if I'm just patient with it. So this is the entrance to the kitchen garden, and as you can see, it's gotten so overgrown. And my intention is to clear this up and give me some space so that I can enter into it again. I'm gonna have to cut back these vines. The bindweed has been ridiculous, and so I'm gonna need to pull them out and really get in here. I have enjoyed my bee balm, and the hummingbirds have enjoyed them as well. Been getting a lot of hummingbird activity here. I don't really see the butterflies, but definitely the hummingbirds have been coming in. And I love coming out in the morning here in my garden, because then I get to see the squash flowers, and the pumpkin and squash flowers here in the garden. Then also here we have my tomatoes, which are growing. These here are the Roma tomatoes, and they seem to be doing very well. And then I have another type of tomato here, which are growing into. And what I've been doing is cutting back some of these large squash pumpkin leaves so that the tomatoes can get the sun that they need. But they're there, and it's just a matter of time before they start to ripen. And then I have my sun gold tomatoes in here that are growing, as well as the 100s. So this is what it looks like up close in this area, with the beautiful daisy-like flowers here, which do attract the pollinators, and especially the bees. They love these flowers. And that's good, because then they're able to pollinate the pumpkins. Now I do have a beautiful pumpkin here. And that's one, and I have another one that I've spotted as well. But check out the tomatoes and the vine here. I'm just waiting patiently for them to ripen. Here's the other pumpkin that I spotted so far. Where are you? Right in there. There's a bee or something. That's good. As I said, it's good to see the pollinators and the flies and all of the other critters, pollinator bugs or insects doing their thing here. Okay, so this is the entrance to this kitchen garden. As you can see, it is overpacked with stuff. And that means that I'm going to have to come in with the shears and really cut back stuff. But things are growing, that's for sure. Oh, look at my collard greens. They're looking quite happy here. And they don't have a lot of holes in them, which is really good. This squash is traveling here. And then I have, look at what has survived. 2 cabbages. I have to come and cut back that. The slugs have gotten to it, but who knows, they might just continue to grow and come out good. I planted these from seed. And then this is my beautiful cinnamon basil. And look at that, it's about to flower on me. I do need to come in and set this space right. I am so good. I'm so happy about the collard greens. Wow. They look good. And the herbs that are growing here. Yeah, this is oregano in a container, and then this is the cinnamon basil. Why is it so hard for me to say it? Oh wow. Look at that squash. It's going all the way up into the plum tree. Wow. So back in this corner here, I planted the corn, and they grew tall and majestic, and they are forming corn in there. You can see the silk, and it's all back in there. I can see them developing the silk. So we're keeping our eye on that. So that's the first batch of corn that I planted in that corner. And then now this is the second batch of corn right here. And they too are developing corn. We can see the corn developing here. And it is, oh, look at that beautiful bird. Oh, sorry. And it is a wonderful thing to see the corn developing here. And then I have my next grouping, which is right in here. And what I'm going to need to do is to pull aside these leaves so that they can get some sun as well. So I'm excited about that. Let's see, there's this beautiful yellow bird. So this part of the garden now leads into the jewel area, which is just going through its own transformation. Each time I come up here, something new is developing. Another featured plant for this year that I am so pleased with is this elephant ear, and this is from last year. I bought the tuber last year from Costco and saved it and planted it in, and now look at it. Look at these leaves. I'm just so pleased with how it is growing, and it really loves this corner. I had moved it from here and put it in a different location, and it just withered away, didn't do well. But right here it has found its spot, and each time the leaves are just getting larger and larger, and I'm just so pleased with this elephant ear here. Yeah, it's getting a little competition with the squash, but you know, as it goes along, I'm going to continue to just make sure that it gets everything that it needs. It just seems so happy right here for now. So this is the corn from this backside. You can see the corn developing there. I hope they're doing okay. And then here we had our garlic. This is carrot seeds. I planted some marigolds there, and they're coming up too as well. You can see the corn here from the back side, and then over here you can also see the carrots. These are carrots from last year, and what I wanted them to do was to go to seed, and then I have my kale here that have gone to seed, and I showed you gathering the different kale seeds. I put it in the bag. That's the bag there to save the seeds. I have mint, and then there I had planted some marigolds and peppermint and so forth. Yes, and then over here, that is the cucumbers growing. But along with that, I grew snap peas, and these are pretty much done. I figured I'd let it go to seed, and then I will gather the seeds and save them. But they were delicious. I would come in and just pick some of the snap peas and just munch on them. But I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to pull this out and give some space here. Now I have some tomatoes growing here and mint, and then this kale is here from last year. I also have other things growing in here, so it needs some. I mean, things just go so fast. And look at the tomatoes and the corn. Oh my goodness. I've got a lot of work to do. The other annual that is doing very well right now and has decided to bloom are the zinnias. And I planted these from seed as well. My Dollar Tree seeds. And the cosmos are a returning plant. They self-sowed from last year. And so I've been just editing them. But they look good with the zinnia. I really love this purple phlox. I like how it is just showing up in between the cosmo leaves, and then and with the zinnias as well. Now what excites me, and it's just a little thing, but this, my verbena bavariensia, I had planted a whole lot in this area from seed that I got from Johnny Seeds, and this is one of the plants or seeds that self-seeded here. And I thought I would have more. I thought they would return, but at least to have one, it's just exciting to me. And I like how it's just fitting in. It's so good here with the rest of the plants. And it's looking good here too with my dragon head balm. It's like the same color. It's really pretty. And here are the 4 o'clocks. Look at that. That's the color of my 4 o'clocks that I planted from seed this year. That's a new plant in the garden. I was inspired by my gardening friends, Rachel of Brampton Gardener and Brooke of Vintage Gardener NJ. They have 4 o'clocks in their garden, and they said that they like to self-seed and scatter, so I said, well, I need some too. I really haven't given much attention to these boxwoods that I had for the last couple of years here. And this planting here, this planter filled with these impatiens are doing fantastic here at the top of the garden. They definitely do beckon you up the walkway. It's like, come on up and see what's happening up here. There's a lot going on up here. My little limelight is doing fantastic back here. My hydrangea. And I like the fact that it's growing taller here, and I'll have more branches going on here because I do need it to expand. And then I have my beautiful fig tree that I started from stem cutting, and it is doing fantastic here. It looks happy with the spirea and the little limelight. than these yellow flowers, daisy-like flowers, which the bees just love. I love the color of my oak leaf hydrangea flowers. Beautiful. The strawberry patch is doing very good. I had some strawberries in a container. I left it up here. They developed runners, and these are all from runners here. And then here is my David Austin rose, and it is now budding up, and that's good. I might end up having a flower. Yes. Olivia Austin may flower for me this year. I'm so thrilled with this amaranth. Look at it. Look at its tresses and just how it's love lies bleeding, how it's just grown so tall, and it just really lights the spot here. And it looks so good with the cleome. I also am excited about my hibiscus here. It's so pretty, and it's starting to flower and just looks good with the bee balm. I also have another hibiscus in the back there, and but it's not ready to bloom yet. There's a lot going on here. I need to actually get in there and cut back the bee balm soon so that they can bloom. But yeah, it's a high impact corner going on. A lot. This whole side here, I've just been trying to give things its space and allow it to grow and just enjoy it for this season. And yes, look at this, my watermelon. It's starting to flower, which is great. I don't know if it's too late for it to develop anything, but I'm happy to see it at least trying to do something. We have one more month to go. August and then September. Things will be changing again. But let's enjoy the last week, last Saturday in this month of July as we anticipate what's going to happen for August. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden. Bye.